This is Gemara Baba Basra, Daf Samoch Beis, and we're holding in the bottom of Samoch Aleph Amid Beis, approximately 10 lines from the bottom. The first word on the line is Nachman. And we begin with the story, which is a complete segue from yesterday's shiur, in which the Daf spoke about when you sell a Meicher Bayis, as the name of the Perek tells, Stam. And now we're trying to figure out what's included in the sale. Someone says the house of Rav Chia is sold to you. Now the problem is there are two pieces of land which are called Beichia. Which one is sold? Amar Rav Ashi, Chad Amarle, Tarti Le Amarle. He used the singular when he said Ar'a, which is one land, not two. And therefore, he's only selling one land of Rav Chia, and that's called Beichia, not two. Vi Amarle Ar'asa. But if he said Ar'asa stam lands, Miyat Ar'asa, the minimum amount of properties is two. And then he's going to get two fields, the buyer will get. The Amar Le Kol Arasa, the seller said all his lands, Kol Arasa this land, then he's going to get all his lands. Avar Mivustani Uvar Dise. Aside for gardens and vineyards, because those are not referred to as Stam lands. The Amar Le Zihira. And if he said Zihira, if the seller said, I'm selling Zihira, which is a certain type of lands, Afilu Beibustani Pardisa, he's going to get. Zihira is a more encompassing word. It's not just fields, but it means to include even other types of fields like gardens and vineyards would yes be included. Lavar, mibati vavdi, houses and slaves would not be included in the sale. We turn over to Samach Beis Amar Aleph and continues the Gemara. V'amar le nichsi. And if he says, I'm selling you properties, then what does the buyer get? Everything. Afilu bati va'avdi. Continues the Gemara. How do we deal with different boundaries listed in a field, listed in a star of a field being sold? Matzar loy, matzar echad aruch, umatzar echad katzer. The seller, when he wrote up the star, he wrote one long boundary and one short boundary. One side of the field you're getting in full, and one side you get in part. As you see, Rashi over here draws some pictures for us. What's the halacha? So Amarav loikana kineged hakotzer. You only get opposite the kotzer. If you look in Rashi, if you're looking at your screen, we'll highlight what we're talking about. You're only going to get this half. He said in the shtar aruch, and he said kotzer. So what do you get? You get the part opposite the kotzer, opposite the shorter part. Amrle Ravuna Ravasi the Rav. V'yikni keneged roish tor. I don't understand. Why doesn't he get on a diagonal? Why are you saying that he gets? Why are you saying that he gets opposite the kotzer? Why does he not get on a diagonal? As you look at the next picture of Rashi, he plays out. You should get keneged roish tor, keneged a diagonal, from the kotzer, the short side, till the aruch, the long side. Shasik Rav was quiet. Says the Gemara, Maida Rav is Echalika Motzar Reuven Vishimin Mechad Gisa. If Reuven and Shimon is on one side, Umatzar Levi Yehuda Mechad Gisa, and Yehuda and Levi on the other side. Medhavale Mechtav. He should have written the Reuven Kineged Levi Ude Shimon Kineged Yehuda. If he was only selling half of the field, then he should have written Ruvain Kineged Yehuda, and then only half the field would have been sold. But, or Shimon Kineged Yehuda, Ruvain Kineged Levi, V'loi Kasav Le, then Shema mina keneged roish tur hu da'amar lei. Then it is clear that you get keneged roish tur. We'll move the page over a little bit. On the side, there are different pictures, different drew the pictures. But if you look on the side of your page, you'll see a picture, Ruvain, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda. So because he could have written Ruvain, Keneged, Levi, and then that half of the field would have been sold, and he didn't write that, then that's going to indicate that he's selling Ruvain on the diagonal, then that will be the sale. Says the Gemara, Matzah Ruvain Mizrach, Matzah Umayrif, Umatzah Shimon Safain Vidarain. As you look at the next picture on the side of your page, Ruvain has the eastern and western boundaries, which are opposite each other. And Shimon has northern and southern, which is opposite each other as well. Sarav lemichtav le Matzah Ruvain Ruchin train, Umatzah Shimon Ruchin train. He has to write, I'm selling Ruvain on two sides, or I'm selling Shimon on two sides. If not, then he would get Keneged half. If not, right? Because if you look over here, Rashi as well as the picture, it'll much quicker morph into a scenario of a Roish Tur of getting the diagonal, unless he clearly delineates which part of the field he is selling. So ask the Gemara, 2 lines from the bottom, Ibayi Lahu. Ask the Gemara, Sayim, Lo Yesakronois Mau. What is the halacha if you marked off the corners and not to the sides? How do we view such a field? You look at the next Rashi, towards the bottom of the page, you see Sayim Lo Yesakronois, that he only listed the corners of the field. How do we deal with such a sale? Says the Gemara, or the second question, Kimin Gam. What if he wrote, Gam is from the Greek word Gama, that if he wrote, which is a word in Yavanis, like Rashi at the end of the Amid points out, how does it work if you listed Kimin Gam? He listed the corners of the field. Do you get on a diagonal as Rashi plays out, or not? So says the Gemara, as we turn over to Samach Beis and Beis, or what happens if he said B'sei Rugin Mahu? What happens if he mentioned every other field? How do we view it? And says the Gemara, in all these cases, Teiku, we have to wait to have a teretz. Says the Gemara, Matzlah Mitzah Rishon, Umatzah Sheni, Umatzah Shlishi, Umatzah Revi, Loi Matzah Loi. He listed 3 of the boundaries, but he did not list all 4. How do we view such a sale? Amarav Kanakol, he gets everything. Chotz, Mimatzah Revi. Except for the 4th boundary, which he didn't left. Shmuel Afilu Matzah Revi, he's gonna get all 4 boundaries. Says Shmuel, you can't get 3 out of 4. And a third opinion is Rav Asi Amar, Loikana Ella, Telem Echad Al Panei Kula. Says Rav Asi, all you're going to get is 1 row around the whole field. Like you see over here, no, it's a little hard to see in Rashi. You only get 1 row. Let's highlight which part we're talking about. You're only going to get 1 row around the whole field. Telem Echad, around the whole field, because he listed these 3 boundaries. Says the Gemara, Savalar Kirav. Savalar Kirav, Rav Asi agrees with Rav, who says Shiuri, Shire, who says that you left something over. When the Shire b'meitzar, Shire nami b'kulu. Once you left over something, you left over the entire thing. Amar Rava, continues Rava, Hilchasa. So what's the Maisa halacha in the prior cases? Kana hakol chutz meitzar revi. You get everything aside for the 4th boundary. V'lo yamaran, but says the Gemara, it's not going to be in all cases. Lo yamaran ella deloi mivla. That's only where that the area which is not included is not muvla, is not submerged, is not consumed within the field. Avol mivla. But if it is, then kana, then he will be kaina. Says the Gemara. Continues the Gemara. V'chiloi muvla nami, even when it's not muvla, lo yamarna l'dika allow richva the digla. V'have tishas kavin. Only with that little row, with that little piece of the field, as a richla the dikla, tishas kavin. Like the richla the tishas kavin, lo yahave. Then not. V'lo yavi tishas kavin kana. Then it will not be klein. So it says the Gemara. So we're learning this chilek. Let's just look at the picture in Rashi. Rashi points out beautifully. Rashi draws a picture. Loy movla is, where is this fourth boundary? These are the three boundaries that you're getting. The fourth boundary is in muvla or not. When it's a muvla, then you will yes be kainit, unless it doesn't have significant foliage growing on it. Says the Gemara, when it's mufla, it's a rech with the dikla. Sounds like you would be kinda. You would yes be kinda. So it comes out that the chilik, the difference in mufla and no mufla, is going to be a velt of a difference. If it's loy mufla, you only kinda if it has something mamish chashav on it. But if it's muvla, even if, I said it backwards, excuse me. When it's a muvla, even if it has these richva, the nikla, and whatnot, you will get it. When it's not muvla, you only not be kind if it has these items on it. I will conclude with Ika di Amri, another lashon. Amar Rava chzekana kol v'lamatzravi v'layam ela de muvla. Then you're kanakol. Just Rav is starting the other way. Avalay mavla loikan v'chi mavla nami loyamarn. When you kain el delek alei rechva dedikla. V'lo avitishas kabin. Avalik alei rechva dedikla v'avitishas kabin. Then loikana. So it comes out with the opposite conclusion. Machlal dechi loy mavla. When it's not mavla, avagav delek rechva dedikla v'lo avitishas kabin loikani. So when it's loy mavla, according to this girsa, you're more not kaina because is its own field. So says the Gemara, we're just going to hit this equals button, and then we will stop. Says the Gemara, we had two Lishainis of Rava, but from both of them, Shamina mitarvayu, Lishti de Rava, Tibisade, Loishayer, Midi. That when it comes to a field, that when you're selling an entire field, that you streep, aside for the fourth boundary, he does not keep anything for himself. Number one. Number two, that when it is inside, Movla, that's the one case that changes. If it's inside and vikale or loy movla v'lekale, it's malala haigisa v'etzala haigisa, and therefore what? Shuda dedaini. It's going to be left to the discretion of the judges what the case is, and this is a pretty unique Gemara. Usually you have two Lashainais, and the Gemara lets you play out the cases and whatnot. Here we have two Lashainais, and the Gemara does the math for us. Pick it up from here, B'siyata Dishmaya.